Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. The screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I have given a question. We will be solving the last numerical based upon the scheduling algorithms. Assume the following processes arrive for execution at the time indicated and the length of the CPU burst time given in milliseconds. The job total 5 processes are given, burst timing is given, priority and the arrival time is available. For the above process parameters, find average waiting time and average turnaround time for the following scheduling algorithms: FCFS, SJF, non-preemptive priority, and the round robin. The time quantum given here is 2 units. Right. So here, first of all, we have to draw a Gantt chart. Okay. So first, for FCFS, first come, first serve. No any preemption is available. FCFS is a non-preemptive algorithm. And if any process arrives at the same time at the same time, if more than 2 processes arrive, then that will be ordered according to their IDs. Lower the ID, that process will go first, right? So we'll start according to the arrival time. So at 0 to 1, there will be no any process. Then
Yes, ma'am.
yes, no any process is available up to 0 to 1. So this will be, we can say CPU will be idle at this time.
Real state.
Yes, so at 1 milliseconds, the P2 process will arrive, isn't it? Then
Yes, ma'am.
P2 will be executing
Up
for 1
2
millisecond.
seconds.
Yes, up to 2 millisecond, P2 will be executing. Now this is done. Now after that, who will be coming? At 2 millisecond, P3 will be coming, who will be executing up to 3 total milliseconds. So 3 plus 2 will be 5. Now at 3 milliseconds, we have two processes, P1 and the P4 process. Those have both have arrived at the same time. So now we can compare them according to their IDs, P1 and the P4. So we can take into the consideration P1 first. So P1 will get the access of CPU and it will execute for 8 milliseconds. 8 plus 5 will be 13, right? Then P4 will come. The next number will be for P4. P4 will be executing for 2 milliseconds. So up to 15, P4 will execute. Now we are having, just a minute. Yeah, 3 millisecond processes are over. Now we have the last one, P5, who will who have arrived at 4 milliseconds, and which was the last process available in the ready queue. Now it will get the access of CPU, which will execute for 6 milliseconds. So 15 plus 6 will be up to 21. Yes, so up to 21 all processes will be executed. So अच्छे से ध्यान देना, last time I am going to explain this every scheduling algorithm. Okay, now FCFS is done. Now if we want to calculate um, ID, burst time, arrival time, and completion time, what we have to calculate? Average waiting time and turnaround time. So first we can calculate turnaround time and waiting time. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Okay. 8, 1, 3, 2, 6. Arrival time given is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Completion time we can calculate by analyzing this Gantt chart which we have drawn. P1 process completed at 2 millisecond. The entire completion time for the P1 is 13
13.
millisecond.
13
Yes,
millisecond, ma'am.
13 millisecond. Then P2 has completed at 2 millisecond. P3 completed at 5. P4 completed at 15.
15.
P5
21.
completed
12.
at 21. Right.
21.
Exactly. Turnaround time, how to calculate the turnaround time? Completion time minus arrival.
Arrival time.
Yes, exactly. Completion time minus arrival time. So what is completion time for P1 is 13 minus arrival time is 3. So 10. 2
10.
minus 1, 1. 5 minus 2, 3. 15 minus 3 will be 12.
12.
21 minus 4 will be
70.
70. Right? This will be the
Yes,
turnaround
ma'am.
time. Now waiting time. Now how to calculate the waiting time? Turnaround time minus
First time.
burst time. Exactly. Turnaround time minus burst time, we can calculate the waiting time. So 10 minus 8, 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 3 will be 0. 12 minus 2 will be 10. 17 minus 6 will be 11. Right? So this will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
the waiting time. Now here in this example, it is asked to calculate turnaround time as well as the waiting time. If in the question it is only asked to calculate waiting time, then we can use the formula directly: total waiting time minus arrival time minus number of millisecond process executed earlier. So by using this single formula, we can calculate the waiting time for each and every process, right? If it is asked to calculate the waiting time only, so there is no need to calculate turnaround time. Simply we can directly put one formula and we can calculate the waiting time, right? So now average waiting time and average turnaround time for this: 10 plus 1 plus 3 plus 12 plus 17.
8.6 millisecond.
Turnaround time कितना है average?
8.6 milliseconds.
8.6.
6.
8.6 millisecond. Okay. Everyone please verify your answers. किसी का अगर कुछ अलग है then we have to calculate manually. Okay. यहाँ पे मैं directly आपका आंसर ले रही हूँ. Waiting time 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 10 plus
4.6.
11 divided by 5. 4.6.
4.6
4.6 milliseconds. Yes.
millisecond.
Yes, 4.6 millisecond will be the average waiting time. Average turnaround time will be 8.6 milliseconds. Right. Now this is for the FCFS. Now when you are solving in the exam, the question was asked for the 10 marks. ओके तो हमने अभी तक देखा था, पहले हम ज्ञान चार्ट ड्रॉ करते थे, फिर टेबल ड्रॉ करते थे. तो उससे बेटर है आप पहले ज्ञान चार्ट ड्रॉ करो, वहां के वहां ही उसका कैलकुलेशन कर दो. तो वहां पे आगे जब आप कंफ्यूजन नहीं क्रिएट होगा व्हेन यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग, तो ज्ञान चार्ट में कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगा किसमें क्या होगा. इमीडिएटली वहां पे कैलकुलेशन कर दोगे, देन यू विल गेट मतलब फास्टर आपका हो जाएगा, कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगा. ठीक है. नाउ नेक्स्ट वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट फॉर SJF. SJF is shortest job first, which is also called as shortest remaining time, right, for the process. So in shortest job first, what we do according to the burst timing given, we will analyze the column of burst timing and which process will require the less timing for the execution. That process we will take first for the further execution, right? We will give the higher priority to that less burst timing, less required execution time process, right? So now in this our chart, let us draw a Gantt chart for this.
P2 has shortest burst time.
Okay, so here burst timing 8 1 3 2 6. So P2 requires 1 milliseconds, so P2 will be executed first.
Yes, ma'am.
0 to 1 कोई नहीं है.
Idle.
Yes.
Idle.
So at 1 millisecond P2 has arrived, which will execute up to 2 milliseconds. Now the next is
P3.
P4 now.
P4.
P4 process require 2 millisecond timing.
Up to 4 milliseconds. Yes.
Yes, up to 4 milliseconds.
And then P3. Up to 7 milliseconds. Then P5.
एक मिनट.
30 milliseconds. And then at last में P1 आएगा.
Okay. This is the given. data 3 1 2 3 4. Okay, now listen. Here in this case we have to consider arrival timing also, because सबके सब आए हैं जरूरी नहीं. हाँ, तो 0 to 1 तो आइडियल था. At 1 millisecond P2 arrived. Okay, 1 millisecond में सिर्फ P2 प्रोसेस था, तो वहां पे P2 we don't have any choice कि किस में कंपेयर करना है, because at 1 milliseconds we only have one process. So then we will consider here the P2 process for the further execution, which requires 1 millisecond timing for execution. So P2 को हमने लिया, then it has executed. Now at 2 milliseconds P4 arrived, means sorry, at 2 milliseconds P3 arrived. Now this is done, P2 done. At 2 milliseconds P3 arrived. Now at 2 milliseconds also we don't have any another process apart from this P3 process, right? So सिर्फ एक ही प्रोसेस अभी हमारे पास क्यू में, रेडी क्यू में अवेलेबल है, देन वी विल कंसीडर दिस P3 ओनली. उसका बर्स्ट टाइमिंग कितना है, क्या है, वी विल नॉट डील इन दिस केस, बिकॉज एट द मोमेंट in the ready queue we have only one process, so we will consider only P3 process. So now P3 process, are you getting this? अभी P4 पहले हमने जो अभी किसी ने जवाब दिया था P4 will arrive. Now in that case जो आपने P4 बताया था, that was wrong. Why? Because arrival time also we have to check, bus timing we are checking, but when processes जब होंगे, if all processes have arrived at 0 milliseconds, अगर ऐसा statement होता, then in that case we can consider the burst timing column directly, isn't it? But different arrival timings are available for the different processes, then we have to consider this arrival timing also, even if this is the shortage of first algorithm, right? So at 2 milliseconds there was no any process available apart from the P3 process. We have to consider the P3 process for the further execution, which requires the 3 milliseconds of executions. So P3 will come into the CPU for the further executions, which requires the 3 milliseconds. So up to 5 milliseconds P3 process will execute. Okay, now P3 done. So at 3 and at 4 milliseconds we have three processes arrived in the ready queue. 3 milliseconds पे P1 P4 आए, उसके बाद P5 arrived at the 4 milliseconds, isn't it? So 5 millisecond तक हमारे previous processes चल रहे थे, that means up to 5 milliseconds we have three processes in the ready queue which have already arrived. So now we can consider the burst timing. तीनों available है, now we have to compare which one will go first, right? So P1 requires 8, P4 requires 2, and P5 requires 6. So who will go first for the execution?
P4.
Yes, P4 will go first for the execution because it requires the less timing for the execution. So P4 now come into the CPU, which requires total 2 milliseconds. So up to 7 milliseconds, P4 will be executing, right? Now we have P1 and the P5, which requires 8 and the 6 milliseconds. So we can say that, yes, P5 requires less timing for the execution. So P5 will come into the CPU, it will execute up to 6. So up to 13 millisecond, P5 will be executing. Now, the last one will be P1 process, which will execute for the 80 milliseconds. 13 plus 8 will be 21. Clear है SJF का ज्ञान चार्ट?
Yes,
Anyone? Okay, किसी को कुछ डाउट है? Now, again, we have to calculate completion time, turnaround time, and the waiting time. Completion time for the P1 process is 21. For P2 process, it is 2. For P3, it is 5. For P4, it is 7. For P5, it is, yes, 13. Turnaround time will be completion time minus arrival time. See, इतना पूरे OS के सिलेबस में सिर्फ इतना ही न्यूमेरिकल्स नहीं है. We have डेडलॉक पे भी है, मेमोरी एलोकेशन पे भी न्यूमेरिकल्स है. सो ये फॉर्मूलाज जो है अभी हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, नंबर ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स वी हैव सॉल्व, सो यू रिमेंबर दिस ऑल द फॉर्मूलाज, राइट? बट जब एक साथ बहुत सारे न्यूमेरिकल्स एक साथ पूछे जाएंगे यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम में, देन यू विल गेट द कंफ्यूजन कि किसमें क्या है, किसमें कैसे कैसे क्या क्या करना है. सो कीप प्रैक्टिसिंग, या फिर एक नोटबुक या 2 पेजेस ऐसे बना लो जिसमें सिर्फ आप फॉर्मूले लिख रहे हो और थोड़ा सा उसको रिवाइज करते रहो बीच बीच में, ठीक है? सो कंप्लीशन टाइम माइनस अराइवल टाइम, 21 minus 3 will be 19. 18 ना.
Yes.
2 minus 1 completion time माने 3 है ना. 5 plus 2 3, 7 plus 4, 13 minus 4
4
will
and
be
9.
yes. Waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time.
First
18 minus it is 10. 1 minus 1 is
10,
0.
0,
0.
2,
Okay.
and then 3.
Yes. So this is the waiting time. So average turnaround time and the average waiting time.
And average waiting time is equal to 3.
Okay. और turnaround time
7.
Ma'am, I was correct.
किसी ने
7,
बताया? हाँ.
7, I think. 7
I
average turnaround time.
I think नहीं बताओ कोई तो confirm.
7 है मैम कंफर्म.
7, ma'am. Average turnaround time.
Okay, 7 milliseconds and 3 milliseconds. So this will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
the calculation for shortest of first algorithm. Okay. The third one will be non-primitive. Remember the every criteria for each and every algorithm. Okay, there are different criteria. Same time में आ रहे हैं तो क्या है? अगर जीरो अराइवल टाइम पे सबके सब अवेलेबल है तो अल्गोरिदम के सिनेरियोज बदल जाते हैं. अराइवल टाइमिंग सबका दिया है तो सिनेरियो बदल जाता है. Even if arrival timing is same, arrival timing is 0, and if it is a priority algorithm, then प्रायोरिटी अगर सेम है देन ऑल्सो विच वन वी हैव टू कंसिडर. ये सारे अलग अलग केसेस जो हैं डिफरेंट डिफरेंट न्यूमेरिकल्स की प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद ही आएंगे. इसका एक each and every problem cases we have considered, we have discussed, right? So उसको रिवाइज करते रहना. Now we have now
इसके गैंट चार्ट में P4 के बाद P5 पहले क्यों कंसीडर किया?
एक मिनट. हाँ, P4 के बाद P5 क्यों कंसिडर किया? क्योंकि P1 देखो ये जो P3 एग्जीक्यूट हुआ था अप टू 5 मिलीसेकेंड एग्जीक्यूट हुआ था,
हाँ,
राइट? यहाँ
हाँ.
तक तो एग्री करते हो?
हाँ.
हाँ. तो आफ्टर दिस अप टू 5 मिलीसेकेंड्स कौन कौन आया रेडी क्यू में? एक तो P1 आया, P4 आया और P5 आया, isn't it?
हाँ.
These three processes were present in the ready queue up to the
Yes,
execution of P3. Now, if three processes are available in the ready queue, now we have to compare the burst timing of the process.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Because shortest job first है ना, तो burst timing compare कर रहे हैं. तो from this P1, P4 and the P5, P4 requires the less timing for the execution. तो P4 को
Yes,
हमने
ma'am.
पहले execute किया. After that बचे हुए P1 and P5 we have compared, from which P5 requires the less timing for the execution. So P5 got the first priority. P5
Yes.
executed, P5 का order पहले आया, then P5 executed, then the last P1 executed.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
Thank you.
Okay. So for now, non-preemptive priority. Non-preemptive priority मतलब even if any higher priority process will arrive in between the executing process which has the less priority, then also we cannot preempt the ongoing process which is executing. Okay, we cannot preempt that because it is already mentioned non-preemptive priority. So if number of processes are present in the ready queue, if they are already present in the ready queue, then we can compare the priority of those processes. Okay, and according to the priority we can select the order, we can arrange them in the CPU. But if one process has already got the CPU access which is executing and any another higher priority process will arrive in the ready queue, we cannot preempt the ongoing process in this non-preemptive priority scheduling algorithm. If it is preemptive priority algorithm, then in that case we can preempt the ongoing process. Context switching वहाँ पे होगा. Okay, so non-preemptive priority. Now draw the Gantt chart for this. 0 to 1, the CPU will be idle. Let me.
Ma'am,
बोलो.
ma'am, here lesser the number, higher the priority, na?
हाँ, that depends. If it is not mentioned, if nothing is mentioned in the given question, then lesser the number, higher the priority. मतलब जैसे हमारा order रहता है 1 2 3, 1 is having the highest priority, like that. Okay, but if it is mentioned higher the number, higher the priority, then in that case you have to make sure कि P5 process 5 order पहले जाएगा, अगर 4 है तो उसके बाद जाएगा, 3 है तो उसके बाद 1 will be going last. ठीक है, अगर मेंशन नहीं है, nothing is mentioned, then by default lower the number, higher the priority. Okay, अराइवल टाइम इस केस में आपने जो कहा वही सही है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कुछ मेंशन नहीं किया है. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. यहाँ पे हमको
मैम
प्रायोरिटी होना चाहिए. हाँ बोलो.
मैम हर एक टेबल में वो बर्स्ट टाइम और अराइवल टाइम कितना जरूरी नहीं है ना, मीन वो क्वेश्चन में तो सामने ही रहेगा ना पेपर
हाँ
पे.
सामने रहेगा. मेरे स्क्रीन में वो हर बार मुझे पेज इधर लेना पड़ रहा है ना.
हाँ हाँ हाँ
हाँ,
हाँ,
but
नहीं
you
कोई
know
एग्जाम
what?
के टाइम पे पूछ
हाँ
रहे.
हाँ, but you know what, whenever you draw this chart and if you calculate, it becomes easy. मतलब आपको इमीडिएट मतलब समझ में आता है, या फिर उसका परफेक्शन आ जाएगा, या फिर बार बार आप कहीं गलती से आपने कुछ गलत टेबल देख लिया, कुछ गलत ज्ञान चार्ट देख लिया, इससे बेटर है हमेशा आप 3 कॉलम, कितना टाइम लगेगा इन 3 कॉलम को ड्रॉ करने में, तो हाँ वो आसान जाएगा, एक्यूरेसी आएगी. वरना आई हैव ऑब्जर्व दिस व्हेनेवर आई हैव चेक्ड द पेपर्स, मतलब बहुत परफेक्ट होते हैं जिन्होंने सॉल्व किया है, इतना प्रैक्टिसिंग उनका मैंने खुद से देखा है, इवन इफ दे फेल टू कैलकुलेट एक्यूरेट वैल्यू बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कंफ्यूजन, फिर वो वहां पे ऐसे रफ करो, फिर कोई अलग ही वैल्यू लो, इस तरीके से मैंने देखे हुए हैं. हाँ, स्टूडेंट्स के आंसर शीट्स मैंने देखे हैं, इसीलिए इफ इट इज विल बेटर इफ यू विल सेपरेटली कैलकुलेट. ठीक है,
ओके
ओके. प्रायोरिटी क्या क्या दी है? 3 1 2 3 4. चलो, so now Gantt chart we have to draw 0 to 1. The CPU is idle. At 1 milliseconds we have only one process, that is the P2 process, so we cannot compare the priority of this process with any another process because we have only one process in the ready queue. So P2 process will get the first access which will execute up to 1 milli, मतलब total time required is 1 millisecond. So up to 2 milliseconds, P2 will be executing. At 2 milliseconds, again only one process is arrived. एक ही process हमारे पास है. We cannot compare with any another. So P3 will get the next access, which will execute up to 3 milliseconds. So up to 5, P3 will be executing. Now, ये हो गया. Now at 3 milliseconds, we have P1 and the P4. अभी ये केस अगर प्रिमिटिव वाला रहता, यहाँ पे प्रिमिटिव प्रायोरिटी रहता, तो एट 3 milliseconds if any other process arrive, 2 को at 2 millisecond P3 got the access, right? but बीच में in between अगर higher priority process अगर यहाँ पे आई रहती in between of this execution, then that higher priority process will get the access of this CPU. ठीक है, वहां पे फिर P3 प्रोसेस जो है पॉज हो जाता, कंटेक्स्ट स्विचिंग में चला जाता. ठीक है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ द नेचर ऑफ नॉन प्रिमिटिव प्रायोरिटी एल्गोरिथम टास्क में दिया हुआ है, so we have to execute this P3 without any preemption. So up to 5 milliseconds P3 has executed. So at 3 milliseconds P1 and P4 arrived and at 4 milliseconds P5 arrived. मतलब 4 milliseconds तक बाकी के बचे हुए सारे प्रोसेसेस रनिंग स्टेट में आ चुके हैं, राइट? सो नाउ वी कैन कंपेयर from these 3 processes the priority of the process. P1 requires P1 have 3 priority, P4 is 3 and P5 is 4. मतलब P5 का तो यहाँ सवाल ही नहीं है, इसका लोअर प्रायोरिटी है देन द P1 एंड द P4 बिकॉज ये दोनों में ही सेम प्रायोरिटी है. Now whenever in primitive or non-primitive priority algorithms, if we have the same priority, then in that case we will apply the FCFS algorithm, first come first serve. ठीक है, and even if अभी first come first serve में क्या है, Is it the priority column सही है ना? 3 1 2 3 4 right? हाँ. Now if two processes have arrived, FCFS अगर अब अभी हम कंसिडर कर रहे हैं क्योंकि प्रायोरिटी दोनों की सेम थी, दोनों की प्रायोरिटी अगर सेम है दैट मीन्स वी हैव टू कंसिडर द FCFS. अब FCFS में भी ऐसा है कि कोई आगे पीछे नहीं आया है, दोनों प्रोसेस भी सेम ही टाइमिंग में आए हैं. So in FCFS, if two processes have arrived at the same time, then we can consider their IDs. Lower the ID, the sequence will be first, right? So now we have P1 and the P4, so we can consider the P1 first, which requires total 8 burst time. So up to 13, P1 will be executing. This is done. Then we have P4, which requires 2 milliseconds. So up to 15, P4 will be executing. Now the remaining one is P5 process, which requires 6 milliseconds for the executions. So 15 plus 6 will be 21. So P5 will be executed here. Fine, Gantt chart is clear.
मैम
हाँ.
अभी this can the priority Gantt chart is similar to FCFS. So can we write in exam like as both have the same Gantt chart, so calculation would be the same. So AWT equal to and
नहीं
and
नहीं
sorry.
नहीं नहीं नहीं
Not always.
You have to calculate. You have to calculate.
Okay.
You have to calculate. हाँ.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Completion time minus arrival time, turn around होता है. Sorry. हाँ, turn around होता है. Completion time minus arrival time. Waiting time है. Turn around time minus burst time. Completion time of P1 क्या है बताओ फटाफट. 13.
30
P2 का
2
for P3.
5
5
P4.
15
15
P5 21.
21
21
बाकी का सेम ही अगर
हाँ हाँ सेम ही आएगा सब कुछ. मैं इधर से ही लिख लेती हूँ. 10 1 3 12. बट कैलकुलेशन करना. हाँ, कैलकुलेशन इन सेंस पेपर में लिखना, भले ही सेम चार्ट लिखो.
okay ma'am.
Average waiting time 4.6 milliseconds. Average turnaround time 8.6 milliseconds. Fine. Now we have the last one. क्या? राउंड रॉबिन एल्गोरिथम. ठीक है. 0 to 1 it will be idle. राउंड रॉबिन का टाइमिंग कितना है? 2 यूनिट्स का है. चलो. सो एट 1 milliseconds P2 प्रोसेस, सिर्फ P2 प्रोसेस है. Now what is the concept of round robin algorithm? Basically this scheduling algorithm is applied on the system where time sharing is required, जहाँ पे हर एक प्रोसेस को one static amount of time will get for the execution, even if they require the more milliseconds for execution. अगर comparison में if we have a very high we can say burst timing for any process, then they will get the CPU, they will get the access of CPU for the larger amount of time, and because of that the low burst timing process will be waiting in the ready queue for long time, and because of that starvation may occur, right? So to overcome from that problem, what we do is we allocate some static amount some fixed amount of timing for each process, and up to that particular for that particular moment only that process will execute. So if any execution is remaining, then that process will be shifted to the waiting room or waiting queue, और वहाँ पे वापस से वो ready queue में वहाँ पे उसको shift किया जाएगा, and context switching will happen. Whatever the current सिचुएशन या फिर वॉट एवर द करंट लोकेशन एड्रेस स्पेसेस जो भी है रिसोर्सेज जहां कहीं भी उसके रिजल्ट्स जितने हुए हैं, दोज ऑल विल बी स्टोर्ड बैक इनटू द पीसीबी. व्हाट इज पीसीबी? प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक. द करंट सिचुएशन में वॉट एवर द सिनेरियो इज अवेलेबल, वॉट एवर द रिजल्ट्स आर अवेलेबल, जहां तक उसका एग्जीक्यूशन हुआ है, वो सारे एड्रेस स्पेसेस, everything will be stored into the PCB, process control block, right, where the details of the process will be stored. So when that process will resumed back from that PCB, all the details will be retrieved again, and where the process has been paused, वहीं से वापस क्या होगा, प्रोसेस का फर्दर एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट होगा, रिज्यूम किया जाएगा. So that is about the round robin scheduling algorithm. Benefit is that कि burst timing जिसका कम है वो प्रोसेस यहाँ पे स्टार्व नहीं करेगी. That process will also get the same chance for the execution, right? So here we have to consider the timing 2 units for each process. So at 1 milliseconds we have only P2 process which will get the 2 unit for the execution, but P2 process requires only 1 milliseconds for the executions. So up to 2 P2 will be over. So after this P2 at 2 millisecond P3 arrived, right? So P3 will get the access which requires 3 milliseconds from which it will execute up to 2 millisecond, क्योंकि 2 millisecond का ही उसका execution time मिलेगा CPU के लिए, CPU में. So the remaining will be 1 milliseconds, वो बाद में execute होगा. यहाँ पे अब P3 ने अपना 2 millisecond execution complete कर लिया. So up to 4 milliseconds P3 will be executing. Now 4 मिलीसेकेंड तक हम आ गए हैं. 3 में कौन आया? P1 P4 at 3 मिलीसेकेंड. तो दो अगर सेम टाइम में आए हैं देन वी हैव टू अप्लाई द FCFS, जहां पे P1 पहले जाएगा. P1 will get the first access which will execute for 2 milliseconds, right, for 2 milliseconds. So बचा 8 minus 2 will be 6, बचेगा 6 milliseconds. यहाँ पे up to 6 milliseconds P1 will be executing, right? Now after this the P4 will get the access because both the processes were arrived at the same time, from which we have considered the P1 first and now P4. Now P4 will get the access of CPU which will execute for 2 milliseconds, जिसको required है 2 milliseconds ही. So P4 entirely यहाँ पे execute हो जाएगा up to 8 milliseconds, right? Now P5 process who has arrived at the 4 which got the access of CPU now at 8 milliseconds, which will execute for 2 milliseconds, जिसका बचा 4 milliseconds, right? वो बाद में हम consider करेंगे. Now here P5 will execute up to 10 milliseconds, 2 unit उसको मिल रहा है. Now again sequentially वापस से जाना है हमें. सर्क्यूलर क्यू जैसा होता है ना, सर्क्यूलर क्यू, इफ यू आर अवेयर, सेम उसी ऑर्डर में वापस से सारे प्रोसेसेस will get the access of CPU. Now P1 again. Now everyone is available in the ready queue. सब लोग ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं, सब लोग कंटेक्स्ट स्विचिंग में जा चुके हैं, राइट? एवरीवन इज अवेलेबल इन द रेडी क्यू. नाउ वी कैन कंसीडर द आईडीज ओनली. सर्कुलर क्यू में अब वो क्या करेंगे, बस सर्कुलेट होंगे. अब P1 विल गेट अगेन द एक्सेस, जिसका 6 बचा हुआ था, जिसमें से 2 वापस से रन होंगे अप टू 12, रिमेनिंग विल बी 4. नाउ P2 विल गेट द एक्सेस विच विल एग्जीक्यूट अप टू 14. बचा 14 नहीं, द रिमेनिंग इज, this is done, right? P2 is done. Now P3 will get the access. 1 millisecond execution is remaining, so P3 will be executing here for 1 millisecond, so up to 13. Then now this is also done. P4 already हो चुका था. Now P5 will get the access up to 15, 2 milliseconds मिलेगा, जिसमें से 4 बचा था, so remaining again 2 milliseconds. Now after P5 we have P1 again in the queue. P1 4 बचा था जिसमें से 2 मिली सेकेंड्स यहाँ पे होगा up to 17, right? Now who will get the excess? P5. The remaining one is P5, which requires which is 2 millisecond is remaining. 2 millisecond is remaining for P5. So up to
19.
19. P5 will be over. And now P1 remaining is P1. P1 का भी कितना बचा है? 2 milliseconds. So up to 21, P1 will be over. Now all the processes got the access of CPU. Everyone has executed its execution, right? Now compute the calculation completion time for P1. P1 completed at 21. P2 completed. आखिरी बार P2 कब खत्म हुआ है? At 2 milliseconds only. Gantt chart visible है क्या? हाँ.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. P2 completed at 2 milliseconds. P3 completed at 13 milliseconds. Gantt chart से ही आंसर्स निकालने हैं. P4 completed entire execution
8.
at 8 milliseconds. P5 completed at
19.
Yes, 19. चलो turn around time minus completion time minus arrival time. 21 minus 3, 2 minus 1, 11, 8 minus 3 is 5, 19 minus 4 will be 15. Completion turnaround time is completion time minus arrival time. Waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. 18 minus 8, 10. 1 minus 1, 0. 11 minus 3. Sorry. 18, no. 5 minus 2 will be 3. 15 minus 6 will be 9. Correct? So average waiting time and average turnaround time. बताओ.
Average waiting time is 6 and average turnaround time is 10.
Okay. Others calculated? Confirm है? कोई एक जन और बताओ तो confirm हो जाएगा.
Yes, ma'am. Same है. 10 and 6.
Okay. So average waiting time is 6 milliseconds. Average turnaround time is 10 milliseconds.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how the round robin algorithm will be calculated. So all the scheduling algorithms now we have discussed in detail, and I hope all the things are clear regarding scheduling algorithm numericals, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
हाँ
Ma'am.
बोलो, हाँ बोलो.
ma'am, after P5 we have to start from P1 na? For the circular
Yes,
job.
correct. Because all the processes will be present in the ready queue that at that moment. और फिर circular motion में ही वापस से क्या होगा? Continue करेगा.
Okay. P1 से start करके.
हाँ.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Now the next point is, let me share the screen. Okay, whether screen is visible? PPT.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now the next point we have to discuss is thread, types of thread and multi-threading models, where we know little bit about the threads. We have already discussed while we have started the process chapter itself, right? And process is nothing but the program which is in the execution, isn't it? Do you remember this? What is meant by process? अभी just definition बताया मैंने. Can you explain this? The code which is not in the execution, what we call? The code which is not in the execution.
Program.
Yes, exactly. Correct. Program. It is called as program. But once we take that code, we take that program into the execution, the state will be changed, right? State will be changed, and it is called as the process. So code या फिर program may have different number of processes. Program may include different number of processes, and each process may have different threads, right? We have already discussed this in the earlier chapter, earlier session of this process unit. Every process may or may not have a number of threads. Multi-thread भी हो सकता है, single thread भी हो सकता है, right? Thread is nothing but the unit of executing process, one unit of executing process, this we can say, right? And this thread includes, उस thread का भी अपना एक individual we can say database रहता है. The details regarding the thread will be stored somewhere like the PCB. For process, we have the metadata of the process will be stored into the PCB, process control block, right? The same way, the details about the threads will be stored somewhere, and that location, that somewhere, is called as the TCB, thread control block, where it consists of the details like thread ID, program counter, register set, and the stack. Okay, each process will have their own IDs. They will be having their own counters. They will be having some registers to store the data, some different files, and the stack will be available for each and every thread. Okay, if number of threads belongs to the same process, if more than two process or more than one process, if threads belongs to the same process, they can share some they can share files, as well as they can share the registers. Also they can share the resources which are allocated to that process. Okay, that will be shared, fine, but they will have their individual ID. Every thread will have their individual ID, their individual stack. They will have their individual program counter and the registers. These will be unique, and others remaining thing, files and the files and resources which are allocated that process, that can be shared in between the threads of that process. Okay, now thread and the multi-threading. एक thread होता है तो case how it will look, how it will execute, and when we have number of threads belonging to the same process, which looks something like this. Okay, here we have two diagrams. This first diagram belongs to the single threaded process, which is also called as lightweight process. ठीक है, इसको lightweight process भी कहा जाता है. इस in objective questions, this question में might be बहुत बार पूछा जाता है lightweight process कौन सी होती है. Lightweight process is multi-threaded or the single-threaded. Lightweight process is a single-threaded process. Okay, now in this first diagram, this entire block is representing a process. It belongs to one process only. Okay, and this one process will be executed by using a single thread only. एक ही thread है यहाँ पे available, and this thread have, or this process have their code, data, and the files, and this thread will also have registers and the stack. This will be the unique register and the stack. Now here we have only one thread, so this thread is having exclusive access to each and every point here. Okay, otherwise, if you observe the second diagram, which is also called as the multi-threaded process. Okay, this entire block represents the process where these three partitions belongs to each and individual thread. ठीक है, ये अलग अलग तीन थ्रेड है, तीन अलग अलग यूनिट है जो प्रोसेस अंडर एग्जीक्यूशन, जो प्रोग्राम अंडर एग्जीक्यूशन है, which is called as the process, और ये ब्लॉक रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है प्रोसेस को. From one process we have these three threads. ठीक है, now here each thread will have their own stack, their own registers. Okay, but number of threads belonging to the one process, they can share the code, the data, and the files of single process. They can share with each other. Fine. Now, what is the benefit of this? Whatever the task will be there, whatever the code will be there in that program, in that current ongoing process, पार्टीशन मतलब यूनिट जो है डिवाइड होंगे, जो भी कोड होगा वो डिवाइड होगा, and each code will be given to each thread, and simultaneously at the same time they will be executing, right? अगर ये serial processing होता, then what will happen? This first thread will be executed, then after this this second will be executed, then third will be executed. It will take more time to execute. But at the same time, if different threads are executing which belongs to the one process only, then execution time required for that particular process will be less. The computation will be fast in the case of multi-threading, right? In single threading process system or in a lightweight process, it takes much time as compared to the multi-threading. One by one, if you want to open up, if you have opened up the browser, okay, and you are checking out for some website, and you also wants to download something, कुछ image download करना है जो आपने अभी जो browse किया, okay, so that is not possible in the case of single threading example. If you have opened up that website, तो background में आप downloading पे नहीं डाल सकते if it is a lightweight process, okay, वहां पे सिर्फ आप या तो ब्राउज कर सकते हैं या तो फिर डाउनलोडिंग कर सकते हैं. तो डाउनलोड स्टार्ट हुआ तो इधर आपका वेबसाइट आपको विजिबल नहीं होगा. वन प्रोसेस, वन थ्रेड at a time. That is a single threaded system. Okay, in multi-threaded you can browse, you can keep downloading in background, you can play the music also, right? That is multi-threading. एक process है, in that process we have different threads. Now let us check out by using this. I have downloaded one software where we can analyze the process thread view. Can you see my screen?
Yes ma'am.
PPT नहीं, folder.
हाँ मैम वही folder process thread view.
Yes, exactly. Now in this, the list which you can see, these are all the processes which are currently available in my system. This is the list of the process. This is the process ID, ये जो first column है. This is the process name and this is the process path. If you can observe here, Firefox browser open है, यहाँ पे firefox.exe, right? These are the individual processes. Different processes are available, right? Suppose I want to check out the thread belongs to this process, whether single threaded है, multi threaded है, वो मुझे check करना है. Simply if I will click on this process, on a single process, it will open the details of that individual process. Okay, if you can observe here, this is the list of the thread which belongs to that one single process, firefox.exe, जो मैंने इससे पहले आपको दिखाया. That was a single process. वहां पे कितने सारे प्रोसेसेस थे, वहां से एक प्रोसेस पे बस मैंने क्लिक किया. That one process consists of these number of threads. एक प्रोसेस के अंदर इतने सारे थ्रेड्स ओपन है, साइमल्टेनियसली दे आर वर्किंग. ठीक है, अब वो भी डिफर करता है कि वेदर इट इज लुकिंग लाइक इट इज एग्जीक्यूटिंग साइमल्टेनियसली या फिर वो एक्चुअली साइमल्टेनियसली वर्क कर रहा है. दैट वी विल सी इन द नेक्स्ट यूनिट, नेक्स्ट लेक्चर, कि कंकरेंसी क्या होता है और सिंक्रोनाइजेशन क्या होता है. दैट वी विल सी इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. ओके, बट रिमेंबर, इन अ सिंगल प्रोसेस दिस नंबर ऑफ थ्रेड्स आर अवेलेबल. डिपेंड करता है कि कौन सा क्या रन कर रहा है, राइट? नाउ दिस, इन दिस वी कैन एनालाइज द थ्रेड आईडी, if the context switching has happened, then उसके details यहाँ पे है, last context switching कब हुआ था, status, what is the status, address location होता है, stack is also mentioned. The details of the about the thread we can analyze from here. We have number of processes which belongs to which consist of number of threads. Okay, and single threaded is also called as the lightweight process, which is the example कि वहाँ पे we cannot execute any another thread simultaneously. उसके साथ साथ उस ब्राउजर में आप दूसरा कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे, like that. Now let me close this. There are two type of the threads available: user level thread and the kernel level thread. Now what is the difference between these two? This user level threads will be handled by the thread library. Some utilities will be available. Thread utilities are available at the user side in the application. That will be managed, those threads will be managed by user applications only. जो भी यूजर की थ्रेड यूटिलिटीज हैं, लाइब्रेरीज अवेलेबल हैं इन द एप्लीकेशन, दोज आर मैनेजिंग दोज यूजर लेवल थ्रेड्स. But if we talk about the kernel level threads, okay, then those threads which belongs to the kernel level will be handled by the operating system. This is the main difference. कि user level जो रहेगा, that will be handled by the thread library, thread utilities, whatever are available in the application itself, those will be managing those threads. But if the thread belongs to the kernel level, then that will be managed by the operating system. And whenever the thread needs to execute at kernel level, it requires to call the system call. So it requires little bit more time as compared to the user level thread. Because user level thread है तो वहां के वहां उसी लाइब्रेरी में से immediate access करके the thread will be executed, then the entire process will be executed, right? But kernel level thread है, then user has to use some system calls to access the resources, to call for some we can say किसी वेरिएबल का एक्सेस चाहिए, किसी पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन का एक्सेस चाहिए, कोई रिसोर्सेज यूज करने हैं, देन यूजर हैज टू यूज सम सिस्टम कॉल्स एंड इट विल टेक लिटिल बिट मोर टाइम एज कंपेयर टू द यूजर लेवल थ्रेड्स, क्योंकि सिस्टम कॉल करो फिर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम अलाउ करेगा इफ दे आर अवेलेबल, राइट, अदरवाइज वो वेटिंग स्टेट में रह जाएगा. सो दैट विल टेक लिटिल मोर टाइम. बट देन अगेन द सेम थिंग, ऑथेंटिकेशन ज्यादा किस में रहेगा, कर्नल लेवल थ्रेड्स में, क्योंकि फिर उसको प्रोसेस में नहीं जाना ना, इमीडिएटली उसको एक्सेस मिल जाएगा, वहां पे वेटिंग टाइम कम रहेगा, इमीडिएट उसको चाहिए वो उसको मिल जाएगा, राइट. दिस इज द कंपैरिजन. वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, इफ any one of the process any one of the thread which belongs to the user level thread will be blocked because of IO request or any another reason, interruption occurred, कोई abruptly कुछ close हो गया, like that. If any user level thread will be blocked, then the entire process will be blocked. मान लो एक प्रोसेस में 4-5 थ्रेड्स है, उसमें से एक थ्रेड while executing ब्लॉक हो गया, then that entire process will be blocked for that particular time. Okay, but this doesn't happen in the kernel level thread. If any one thread which belongs to the same process, 4-5 threads run हो रहे हैं belongs to the same process, and any one of the thread will be blocked in the case of kernel level thread, if it is blocked, then no any other process threads will be blocked. They will continue their execution. It doesn't matter. This is the main difference. This question regarding this thread, ये जो difference था, उससे related गेट में भी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. ऑब्जेक्टिव कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में थ्रेड रिलेटेड इस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. ओके, सो लाइटवेट प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज lightweight process is a single threaded or multi threaded?
Single threaded.
Yes, lightweight process is a single threaded process and which will be having two types. Multi threaded is having two types, user level and the kernel level threads, where number of threads can be executed डिपेंड अपॉन कि वो यूजर लेवल है कि कर्नल लेवल है. यूजर लेवल है तो यूजर लाइब्रेरीज यूटिलिटीज ही वहाँ मैनेज करेगा. इफ इट इज अ कर्नल लेवल देन द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इज हैंडलिंग दोज थ्रेड्स. ओके देन ओके दूसरा लेक्चर स्टार्ट हो रहा है शायद. मैडम का कॉल आ रहा है मुझे. ओके विल कंटिन्यू दिस नेक्स्ट पार्ट नेक्स्ट स्लाइड इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. बस एक ही स्लाइड बचा था. वी विल कंटिन्यू दिस इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. Okay. If you have marked the attendance, you can leave the session. If not, then please mark the attendance. Chalo, thank you.